All right, let's talk about something we all do every single day, making decisions. Today, we're going to pull back the curtain on the invisible forces that shape those decisions. We're breaking down the core psychological principles that explain why we say yes, a lot of times without even knowing why. Okay, let's get right into it. It sounds like a simple question, doesn't it? But think about it. Have you ever found yourself walking out of a store with something you had absolutely no intention of buying? Or maybe you've agreed to help a friend out with a huge favor on your only free weekend. What was that little push that got you to say yes?
Well, it turns out those moments are rarely random. They're usually guided by these incredibly powerful, almost automatic psychological triggers. And that's what we're going to do in this explainer. We're going to unlock those triggers and see exactly how they work.
So here's our game plan. We'll kick things off with the science behind it all. Then we'll get into two key groups, the people principles and the action principles. And to wrap it all up, we'll look at how this stuff shows up in your world every day. Okay, part one, the science of persuasion. It's really important to get this straight from the start. What we're talking about isn't just guesswork or a bunch of cool ideas. No, this is all based on decades of serious psychological research. The entire framework we're using comes from the classic and hugely influential work of Dr. Robert Cialdini. I mean, this guy is a titan in social psychology. His 6 principles are basically the foundation for understanding influence. And that foundation leads us right into our first group of principles, the people principles. These next 3 are all about how our relationships and our social connections, our links to other people, massively sway our decisions. First on the list is reciprocity, and our source here nails it with the phrase, givers gain. This is that deep, unwritten social rule that says we should try to repay what another person gives us. If your coworker buys you a coffee, what's your first instinct? I'll get the next one. It's totally fundamental to how we work as a society. So reciprocity is all about that give and take, almost like social accounting, but influence goes way deeper than just transactions. The next principle is all about the personal connection between us, which our source calls the law of the same.
And this brings us to the liking principle.
It's really straightforward. We are way more likely to be influenced by people we know and, well, like. This can be because you have shared interests, they pay you a compliment, or just simple familiarity. We say yes to people we feel connected to, people who seem like they're on our team. Now, it's one thing to be influenced by someone we like, but what happens when we don't know anybody in a situation? When we're feeling uncertain, we look around for clues on how to act. And this brings us right to our third and final people principle, summed up perfectly by a phrase we all know. And that, of course, is social proof. When we're not sure what to do, we look to what others are doing to guide our own decisions. I mean, just think about reading online reviews before buying something, or choosing a busy restaurant over an empty one. Our brain just instinctively assumes, hey, if a ton of other people are doing it, it must be the right thing to do. Okay, so we've covered how our connections to people influence us. Let's move on to part 3, the action principles. These are the psychological triggers that push us over the edge from just thinking about something to actually doing it. This one is all about our deep need to be consistent. Once we make a choice or take a stand on something, we feel this huge internal pressure to behave in a way that aligns with that commitment. We really hate to contradict ourselves, and this is why getting a small yes from someone at first makes it so much easier to get a much bigger yes later.
So that last one was about the pressure we put on ourselves, that internal drive to stay consistent. But what about pressure from the outside world? Let's talk about a really powerful external signal that often commands our compliance.
This brings us to authority. We're basically trained from childhood to obey authority figures, and this response is often triggered by super simple symbols, titles like doctor or professor, or as our source so brilliantly puts it, the power of uniforms. Someone in a lab coat or a police uniform just commands a completely different level of influence. And now, for our final principle. We're tapping into one of the most powerful motivators in all of marketing, and maybe even in life, that frantic feeling of urgency. Yup, it's scarcity. Opportunities just feel more valuable to us when we think they're running out. Limited time only, exclusive offer, only 2 left in stock. All those phrases create a sense of urgency, because psychologically, we are far more motivated by the fear of losing something than by the thought of gaining something of equal value. Okay,
we did it. We've covered all 6 principles. So for our final section, let's pull it all together and talk about how you can start to see these forces at play literally every single day. To really see the nuance here, let's compare 2 of the principles: authority versus liking. You might follow a stock tip from a financial expert on TV because of their authority, but you might invest in your friend's new company because of liking. See? Both can lead to the same result, but they work on completely different channels of influence. One is about respect for expertise, the other is about trust in a relationship.
So there we have them, the 6 principles of persuasion. We've got reciprocity, or giver's gain, liking, the law of the same, social proof, monkey see, monkey do. Then we have commitment and consistency, authority, or the power of uniforms, and finally, scarcity, the whole limited time only deal. These are the hidden engines of influence. And that leaves us with one final and really crucial question. Look, understanding these principles, it's a form of power. You can use them to become a more effective, ethical communicator, or you can use them to manipulate. But just as importantly, you can now recognize when they're being used on you. So the real question is, how are you going to use this knowledge?